Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on my YouTube channel. And something exciting that I did today is I went to my first ever hockey game. I went to an AHL game. It was the Laval Rockets versus the Calgary Wranglers, and the Laval Rockets won 4-3 in a shootout. So that was so exciting to go to my first ever hockey game and for my team to win. Yay! That is not why I'm doing this book review. I'm doing this book review now because the book just came out last week. I think it was on March 30th or March 31st, and she's an indie author. So I feel like putting out the content right away, especially since I thoroughly enjoyed this book, is going to be so important in the hopes that more people will discover her series and her book. So if you're somebody who enjoys hockey romance and you're somebody who loves a book with a ton of emotional depth, then I highly recommend you check out her series. It's the IceHawks series by Mads Rafferty. Now, if you go back to in my hockey romance playlist, you'll be able to see that I have reviewed the first book in her series already. And this is the second book, Fighting Chance. This one is so beyond good. I think I'm gonna give this one 6 stars. This is my first 6-star read of April. Like, so fantastic. Now, I love a fluffy romance, just like anybody else. Like, just as much as I enjoy a romance with like a lot of emotional depth, I also enjoy a fluffy romance. But sometimes it's just so refreshing to read a story that has like so much, like, where these characters are bringing a lot of intense trauma and working through it together, and this is just so beautiful. So like I said, I give this one 6 stars. Some of the major tropes in this book are forced proximity, they're also chronic illness representation, and also single father. So let's get into the story. So you have Kieran Ashford, who plays for the IceHawks of Colorado, and then Layla Carson, who we both met in book 1, because Layla Carson is the best friend to the FMC Bella from book 1, and then Kieran Ashford is also the best friend to the MMC from book 1, Grayson, which he is best friends and also teammates with Grayson. Grayson is the captain of the IceHawks, and they've been friends since basically like teenhood. Basically when Grayson's mother sort of took in Kieran and thinks of Kieran as her own son. And so in chapter 1, Kieran gets a call from the foster home that he used to live in, because we later learn that, like, I think it was like 4 or 5, his mother just like dropped him off on the side of the road, and that was it. Like a dog, and just left him. And so he's like bounced around to like different foster homes, and last foster home he was in was really, really terrible. He gets a call from that foster home basically saying there's a child there that is biologically related to him and is his child, a 3-year-old girl. And he's sort of like confused. He's like, how would I not know that like somebody had my child? And it turns out that like she was conceived during a rough time in his life where he was doing a lot of drinking and things like that. So it's possible like he doesn't really remember like all the different people he was with, and whoever it was never like went up to him and never like contacted him to say like, oh, you have a child, like I'm pregnant with your child or anything. So we learned that the daughter, the 3-year-old, had been found sitting beside her mother. Mother had died from an overdose in her bed, and the child had been there for like 4 days, we later learned. So like when he arrives to the orphanage, he immediately, or not the orphanage, sorry, the foster home, he immediately is like, I'm gonna sign all the paperwork, I'm gonna take her out of here. And then all of a sudden he's just like thrown into fatherhood right away. Just all of a sudden has to figure out how to care for the 3-year-old. But not only that, the 3-year-old is mute. Now she can speak. It's just that I think because of the trauma that she went through, she just chooses not to speak. And we later learn that she was often told by her mother when she was like being too loud to just shut up and be quiet, and so that's why she doesn't speak. So now I'm going to talk about where Layla Carson comes in. So basically, Layla Carson had come back from being in Germany for a year, which we saw in book 1. She was in Germany for a year getting treatment for lupus, and she's come back. She's in remission from her lupus, but she never actually went to school beyond high school. Because of lupus, like, she would constantly keep her out of school, so she like, it just wasn't worth it for her to go to college, university. Basically, she's looking for a job, struggling really, really hard, and Kieran Ashford all of a sudden needs a nanny. And by the way, Kieran Ashford has had a thing for Layla since basically for like 2 years, since before she went to Berlin, when she had come to help Bella and Grayson at a charity event for Grayson's charity that he has. He met her there, and he like, I remember reading the comment in the first book where he was like, I'm gonna, like, she had no interest in him at all, and he was like to Grayson and Bella, he was like, I'm gonna marry her someday. And so he gets given the like he I think gives her the opportunity, like, do you want to be the nanny? And she's like, sure. And he like gives her a really great salary. And basically the story is such a beautiful one. It's him becoming a father and like learning how to care for his 3-year-old, especially a 3-year-old that doesn't speak, and learning how to make her feel comfortable and make her feel like she can doesn't have to be scared anymore, that she's in a good safe home, but also at the same time falling more in love with Layla Carson. Like, I think he had feelings for her obviously from book 1, but this is where he truly like gets to see her and gets to see how she interacts with his daughter, and they fall in love, and he feels like this is his family, like his family is complete. But then she's also dealing with the struggles of potentially having a relapse, or like a flare up, not a relapse, or like a flare up with her lupus, towards, I think it's like more in the third act part of the book. And she kind of she throughout the book starts to have feeling for him, but she doesn't want to be with him because she doesn't feel like he needs more baggage. As she learns all the trauma he went through as a child, and what he's dealing with his 3-year-old daughter and her traumas and stuff, she feels like she doesn't want to add more baggage to him by like being in his life and being somebody who could have a flare up from lupus or it gets really bad. And he's like, and eventually they do fall in love. They tell each other that they love each other. They say they're going to try this. She has a flare up, and he cares for her, takes her to the hospital, and it turns out that it was like a combination of like the birth control that a doctor who doesn't believe in lupus prescribed her, that interacted with her trial medicine that she has been taking from Berlin, even though she asked that doctor so many times, like, is it safe to take some trial medicine? He just said yeah. I guess he didn't really do too much research into it. But that's also when she finds out that by doing some other tests, because she had some blood tests done like 2 weeks prior, that she's actually infertile and unable to have kids. And they both really want to have kids, and so she's struggling with that, and she sort of ends up telling him like, no, like, you should be with somebody else who can give you a family. And he's like, without you there is no family, like, we're not complete without you. And yeah, she said, I've always wanted to like adopt, to take kids out of like these terrible foster homes and give them a better safe home. And so it's like such a beautiful story that I think has so much emotional depth. And I think stories like that are always just, sometimes they can be hard to read, and sometimes they can either make it like your favorite book, or like sometimes they can make it a book that's like not your favorite, just because there can be a lot of sadness in it. But like, again, this one has like a lot of sadness, but also like a lot of beautiful moments to it, and I just loved it so much. Like, look at this cute picture in the back of like them. And there's also, I'm trying to remember a scene that I wanted to point out. Now I'm forgetting it, but yeah, it was just like so beyond good. 6 stars. Like I said, it has forced proximity, it has chronic illness representation, it has the representation of somebody who is choosing to be nonverbal, it has like all the trauma representation, it has somebody who was basically like an orphan, that kind of representation throughout, while also being hockey romance and having hockey romance moments. And also something interesting, which was something I discovered in her first book, which I've never seen before. I have seen like group text chats, but basically every chapter starts with a text chat rather than them being spread out throughout the chapter. Like, each chapter will start with a text chain, sometimes hinting at what is going to happen in the book, like later on. Could be a conversation of like a scene that might happen later on. But yeah, so again, this book is just so fantastic. Like, I could not recommend it more. If you are looking for not just a fluffy romance, but one with a lot of emotional depth, I highly suggest you pick up book 1 and then book 2. This one was my favorite out of the 2, but again, they were both fantastic. I'm pretty sure I gave book 1 5 stars. This one I'm giving 6 stars, and I just thoroughly hope that there are more books in this series. So fantastic, like completely blown away. And she's independently published, and like, there's no way you could tell that she's independently published just by reading this. Like, it is so beyond fantastic. So if you're looking for a new hockey romance and you're looking to support an indie author, do check out Mads Rafferty. I think this is available on Kindle. I'm not gonna say Kindle Unlimited, I've been saying that a lot lately, but I'm probably wrong. I know it's available on Kindle and available on paperback, so go pick it up now. So fantastic. Like, this whole series, 10 out of 10. This is 6 stars. thoroughly enjoyed it. So that is all for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button so you never miss another brand new video from me. You can also follow me at romanceblvd on Instagram and Threads. That means Romance Boulevard. And you can also follow me on TikTok at Romance Boulevard, all spelled out. Until the next video, bye!